Happy Friday, it's your girl Rosalind here, and I am here to talk to you about the Praxis 2 Music Content Knowledge Exam. Here's what you should know. This test is designed to measure whether you have the musical knowledge and professional skills needed to begin teaching music in a K through 12 setting. It covers general, vocal, and instrumental music. So even when one area is your specialty, you should prepare for questions outside that specialty. For example, when I studied for the exam, I had to do away with all the information that I knew just about vocal music. You have to be well versed in all areas in the music content knowledge exam. First, let's discuss the basic format. The exam is computer delivered and it lasts 2 hours. It contains 120 selected response questions and is divided into 2 sections. The first section is a listening section with 30 questions based on recorded musical excerpts. The second section is a non-listening section with 90 questions, and you will have 85 minutes to complete that portion. When the test begins, you will start with the listening section. During this section, you will hear musical excerpts and answer questions about what you hear. You will be given time to read each question and its answer choices before or during the audio portion, depending on the item. Because the recording controls the pacing, you must stay focused and be ready to identify musical information quickly. The listening questions will begin with areas such as music history and literature. You may be asked to identify a musical period, style, genre, composer, form, ensemble, or cultural tradition. Be prepared to recognize music from the medieval, Renaissance, Baroque, Classical, Romantic, Impressionist, and 20th century periods. You should also expect jazz, rock, folk, popular music, and world music from regions such as Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Americas. Listen for melody, harmony, rhythm, meter, texture, instrumentation, and other clues that reveal the style or period. Next, you will encounter listening questions in theory and composition. These may test your ability to recognize intervals, chords, and chord progressions, cadences, scales, modes, melodic contours, rhythmic patterns, meter, texture, form, and timbre. For example, you may hear a dominant 7th chord. Identify a cadence, recognize a voice type, or determine whether a texture is monophonic, homophonic, or polyphonic. The listening section also includes performance questions. You may hear a rehearsal or performance and identify errors involving pitch, rhythm, intonation, articulation, balance, blend, dynamics, or ensemble unity. You should be able to determine what went wrong and choose the most appropriate musical correction. After the listening section, you will move to the 90-question non-listening section. Here, you will work at your own pace within the 85-minute time limit. That gives you slightly less than 1 minute per question, so do not spend too long on one difficult item. The first major area in this section is again music history and literature. Expect printed questions about historical periods, composers, genres, major works, stylistic characteristics, ensembles, performers, and world music. You may need to connect a composer with a work, identify the features of a period, or compare musical traditions. Next comes written theory and composition. You may be asked to analyze notation, key signatures, intervals, chords, inversions, harmonic progressions, scales, modes, rhythm, meter, musical forms, and textures. You should also know voice leading, instrumental and vocal ranges, transposing instruments, clefs, orchestration, arranging, and how instruments and voices function within a musical score. The next area is performance. Questions may cover conducting patterns, cueing, attacks, releases, tempo changes, expressive genres, score preparation, rehearsal techniques, warm-ups, tuning, vocal production, instrumental techniques, and basic accompaniment. You may be given a classroom or rehearsal situation and asked which response would improve the performance most effectively. Finally, you will reach the largest content area: pedagogy, professional issues, and technology. This section represents approximately 47% of the entire exam, so it deserves serious study time. Questions may address listening, planning, standards, assessments, differentiation, classroom management, rehearsal procedures, student motivation, safety, legal responsibilities, professional ethics, copyright, and the appropriate use of music technology. You should choose answers that are educationally sound, developmentally appropriate, safe, inclusive, and centered on student learning. As you take the test, answer the questions you know and mark difficult ones for review. There is no penalty for an incorrect answer, so never leave a question blank. Eliminate clearly incorrect choices. Select the best remaining answer and watch the clock carefully. To prepare successfully, study in this sequence: listening skills, music history, theory, performance, and then pedagogy and professional knowledge. However, devote the greatest amount of time to pedagogy because it is the largest portion of the exam. Remember, the praxis is not asking you to be a perfect performer or to know every fact in music history. It is asking you to demonstrate the broad musical understanding and sound professional judgment expected of a beginning music educator. Stay calm, pace yourself, trust your training, and answer every question. You've got this.